Okay, I've got after 6 o'clock, so if you call our meeting to order, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody please join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. You have taken the roll? Very good. We'll entertain a motion to amend the agenda. I think everybody's got a copy of the amendment. We had an agreement, the second agreement, I guess it is.
Move to amend the agenda.
Second. There's a motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. The agenda has been amended. Okay. First, I'd like to welcome everybody. It's nice to see a full house tonight.
More than full.
Yeah, more than full. That's great news. So, next up, we'll entertain a motion for the approval of the October 22nd, 2019 regular meeting.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And that motion is carried. Moving down to request for purchase. First up, we need to ratify the request for purchase in the amount of $11,204 to Kennedy Industries for an Influent Pump Controls closed loop package with programming, Vega radar transducer, and field service work for the wastewater treatment plant, I believe. So, your pleasure?
So moved. Support.
And a motion and support. Would you like to give us some background on what's going on?
Yes.
Or
explain what it is.
It's controls, but
This will automatically regulate the height of the wet well right now. The current system that we have right now broke, and we're on a manual system right now to where we have to manually go down and adjust the level of the wet well. What this will allow us to do is it's automated, so it gets to a certain height, it'll kick on, and then we can regulate at what point we want it to kick on. We could have had the old system rebuilt, but that company has now, the people that own it have retired and closed up shop, so this is the reason why there's a new system that we're asking for. And otherwise, the other one is, we can't go through them to have it rebuilt, so this is a new system. And I believe we've asked for this prior to, but the cost went up because we thought this is something that our crews could install, but due to time constraints, things like that, we're looking to have the company actually install it, so that's the reason for the cost increases. This is for installation of that device.
so was it a budgeted item then?
Yes.
Okay. It was budgeted at what amount? Did we have
At
that in?
$8,000.
Okay.
I don't
Well, it's
recall.
closer to $9,000,
Okay.
and then for this, for Kennedy to do the service work, that's where it's.
That's the 2,600 we were talking
Yeah.
about. This. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Any more comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Moving down to G, resolutions. First up, we have consideration of a resolution to approve the budget amendment request to increase the tools and equipment line dollars and to increase the private donations, in this case from the Luniak Foundation, line item to the 2020 budget for the Emma Police Department by $2,775. Motion. Pleasure. We have a motion.
Support.
We have support. Are there any comments or questions? Mark, do you have anything?
Yep,
to
we
share?
used that money to purchase 2 new AEDs for the police department,
AED being?
automated defibrillator.
Okay.
Automated
So
external.
with that, they also, you'll notice that the amount there is $2,625. However, the donation was for $2,775. They added $150 to that for 2 tourniquets to go with the AED. So the Luniak Family Foundation now includes tourniquets with any AED purchase request. So, yep.
Well, once again, our gratitude to the Luniak Foundation and the family. So they've come through on so many occasions for us. Yeah, I believe we had a motion in support. Are there any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and that motion is carried. Agreements. First is consideration of an easement agreement between the City of Alma and the United Way of Gratiot and Isabella Counties for an easement across a portion of the said premises of the city of Alamo for the purpose of which shall be limited to the construction, maintenance, use, repair, and replacement of a paved parking area for the non-exclusive use of individuals utilizing the services of the grantee and also for use by the members of the public. Your pleasure.
Motion.
Motion and support. Background on this one? Eric, are you doing it? or-
Just with the improvements that they're making with the Child Advocacy Building and such, redone and everything there. That area, the back behind the Wilcox Building actually is part of the Wright Park. They would like to obviously make all the asphalt new, and it's public property, so to give them the option of going ahead and resurfacing that area, we're providing them that easement to do that. It won't be exclusive for their use, but that will give them the option to go ahead and resurface that area. So it's all one nice new surface once it's done, so.
Very good.
And the public gets to use it as
Yeah,
well.
it's,
Right.
yeah, it's still a public,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still public.
It's a first come, first served lot. just like, all public lots, right? Okay.
Yeah, as we looked at that, we found that Wright Park actually goes almost right up to the door. We didn't realize that the park structure actually goes that far up. So,
Oh,
it's really nice to
I
get it.
figure it's where I park my car most days, so since I'm kind of part of the city. It works out okay.
very good.
But it's to our benefit, obviously, to have that replaced and upgraded,
Oh,
so
absolutely.
it helps everything. So.
Okay.
And to my understanding, I believe that folks from United Way are here, so your board has approved that, correct?
Yes.
To do it, okay, so we do have a signature from them, so we'll be able to complete that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is passed. Okay, so number 2 is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor and city clerk to enter into a development agreement with Gemini Capital Management, 5, I guess, LLC, to address the concerns with respect to drainage over a portion of the alley running north and south between 111 and 113 West Superior Street, Alamo, Michigan, and also the alley running east and west behind 113 and 111 West Superior. And this, commonly known as the Treasurer's Building, is what this really is, the driving force behind this one, correct? Okay, so your pleasure?
Move approval.
Support.
Motion support, are there comments or questions?
Well, this catch basin will help with any possible runoff from the alleyway to grab that, so it's not draining either to the adjacent properties or back toward the Treasurer's Building or back toward the park. That will catch it there and take it to the south. So this is one way to help with water retention and capturing that area. So.
Perfect, sounds like a good solution.
Starts with that part tonight.
Gemini builds it at their cost, and Alma maintains it once it's built.
Right, because this is in the public right away,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yep.
So-
It'll be our asset once it's built.
Right. And they're doing it to our specifications.
Yes, they are. Yep, it'll be up to. Yep, Dave will be up to inspect it.
Okay. And in full disclosure, I own an adjoining property there, so I'm gonna plan to recuse myself from the vote, but just so everybody knows. Any further questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Now abstain, so the motion is carried. Thank you. Moving down to J, reports. We have the Transit Center, October 2019, the Police Department for October 2019, Planning Commission meetings from October 1 and November 2 of 2019, Zoning Board of Appeals minutes of October 15th, the Building Permits report for October, and the City Manager November 8th, 2019 report. Your pleasure with the reports.
Support.
We have a motion to support. Are there any comments or questions? Anybody care to pull any items? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And that motion is carried. And for appointments, consideration of a resolution appointing Lori Taylor to the position of the Alma Public Library Director effective December 23rd, 2019, on the recommendation of the City Manager.
Move approval.
Everybody's jumping for this one. Sounds like it was a good choice. All right, we have a motion and support, I believe. Any comments, Matt, or?
Obviously, this is the first time in quite a while that this board has had to take a look at the library position to make an appointment. So that you know, the department head hiring policy that we followed, as went through, we looked for internal candidates first. We had 2 internal candidates. Lori's vast experience within the library system, I think will be a huge benefit to us going forth. She was outstanding in the interview process in the background, and her knowledge of the library and our community is just going to really help us continue to make changes in the library and push it forward. And administrative staff from the administrative interview, and she's been active with us, served as the interim while Brian has been out for a while, so we've had a really good chance for her to interact with us.
And she's
it's
40
been
years,
fantastic.
right? That's what the
From here.
REM is, 40 years?
Yeah, you only have to stay for, yep, for a while.
We only replace it every 40
We only do it every, but we're very, very
Every
excited.
40
and
years,
very
we get a new
happy.
librarian.
But along that line, that means that obviously, Brian, after so long, and so I will say it out here publicly tonight, that we'll get more information to you soon, but our plan is to work with the Friends of the Library also to have a, as we called it, last year it was the Year of Brian, but now we're at the end of the Year of Brian. And so on December 12th, we'll be getting some information out for Brian's, the celebration of Brian. So, but we sure do look forward to having Lori as a part of our staff and what she can do with the library.
We've been celebrating Brian for 40 years now. Well, great, congratulations. Lori.
Thank you
Well, I
very
guess in a
much.
minute we'll be, congratulations, a little premature there.
The way that we vote.
All right, anybody else? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion is carried. Now, congratulations, Lori.
Congratulations, Lori.
And
Thank you very much. I'm very honored,
Yeah.
very honored, so thank you.
I've heard it was a very difficult choice, that good candidates, and glad you rose to the top, so thank you. All right, is there any unfinished business anyone wants to bring up? If none, we'll move to appropriations. Anybody care to pay the bills?
Move to pay the appropriations.
Motion support, any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Commissioner comments. Audrey, would you like to lead us off?
No.
Roxanne?
It's you.
Sure, okay.
One of them.
All right,
Everybody
I
think.
can't think quite that fast.
The meeting was quick, so we got time if you guys want to wait.
A lot of time.
Congratulations, Lori. I'm glad that you were willing to throw your hat into the ring and take on
Oh, thank
the big
you.
shoes to fill. I'm very pleased.
Thank you, Roxanne.
And welcome, Scouts. It's good to see you all here. Good citizens of your community. Welcome.
Larry?
Ditto.
Well said.
No problem.
Roger?
Like to see all the scouts here. I have a granddaughter who is 12, who was, I think, the first Girl Scout in the South Lyon, or the first girl in the Boy Scouts in the South Lyon troop. And she's going before a board of review, I think this week or next week, for her second class scout. I think it is her desire to become the first girl Eagle Scout in the state of Michigan, and it looks like she has some competition here. So, great program. Welcome, kids. Congratulations, Laura.
Thank you very much.
Radical family, no doubt.
Yes.
Are you ready, Audrey, or should we go?
I feel like I need about 15 more minutes. I just got back from vacation, so my mind is, but congratulations, Lori.
Thank
We
you.
spend a lot of time in the library with child advocacy, and Lori is a great help, always a smiling face, and I know that you've been there a long time, and so congratulations. Welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying the meeting. It's exciting. So, and that's pretty much all I have.
Michelle?
Congratulations, Lori, again. And welcome to all the Scouts. Come home to Alma. The tickets are out at the shops that you can win some money. If you buy merchandise in local shops downtown, your name gets put in. So mark your calendars for Friday the 13th for a welcome, or come home to Alma. Friday the 13th.
Yeah. That's a lucky day for Santa, though.
Santa's on his way.
He better be. We're counting on you.
Counting on him now.
And a new heart.
You get more, or is
It's up to me.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
Not good.
Yeah, I'm feeling very original right now, but welcome Scouts and Lori, congratulations. And just for our vast viewing audience, be careful of the snow and ice. It's joined us early this year.
Yes. Sheila. Nothing? Tony?
Same as everybody else, Lori, congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Scouts, great to see you guys. And what happened to fall? Anybody?
It was on the weekend this year.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, I think it's.
That was a week ago Saturday, I think, so.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've already said it, but Larry, we're ecstatic to have you and look forward to it. And welcome, guys. If we'd known you're coming, we would have, had a little more controversial stuff. This is good. This is good to see how it works like this most of the time. There are a couple items from my report I'd just like to pull and make sure that I make you aware of, and I think it's important the public understands. I really, the Census 2020 information is starting to come out from the Census Bureau, and Michigan Counts 2020, Michigan Counts 2020. We have kind of formed in a committee with St. Louis already that we've been working on some things, and really this mid-November is the time it's all supposed to start rolling out. But what I'd like to do is, and I'll have a letter for Greg, and I've given you this here to take a look at, that he would send that officially puts us in there. We don't need a resolution or anything, just a letter, but I thought everybody needs to know that the Alma City Commission recognizes the importance of raising awareness and promoting participation in order to achieve a complete and accurate count of our citizens during the upcoming 2020 census. Furthermore, the City of Alma wishes to be of assistance in the Census Bureau in this endeavor. Therefore, on November 12th, 2019, the Commission established a complete count committee for the 2020 census. We're already on one, so hope everybody's good with that. We're partnering with the City of St. Louis and other area institutions to do all that we can for an accurate count in 2020. And I will be the liaison. We're going to go on some of the meetings. And this is really the kickoff of the importance. We're going to start with some education, either through our Facebook page, and we've now got some links on our website. And we kind of have a little calendar. Every week or so, we'll be kicking out more information on the importance. I think we all know Michigan can use everybody that we can count during this upcoming census. And even though there's a huge focus on counting underserved folks, we don't want to miss the public education that everybody's going to have to get there. So everybody knows you will get a notification in the mail, which will tell you when to go online to do it. If they haven't heard from you within 30 days of the end of the census count in March, they will get a hold of you again. The library is going to be putting on some things where you can come to the library and do your census registration. I've got a list that we've joined this committee that I'll be going out to some other places to make sure that we're getting that word spread in some of the apartment complexes and just large places where we have a lot of people living to make sure we get everyone counted. So it'll be a real important thing going forward. The other thing I'd like us to start to consider that I did put in for this week was really talking about the formation, maybe if the mayor would look to the point, maybe we do this at the next meeting, we get some more talk about it, but a personnel committee. I would ask for that to be looked at, for you guys to take that into account to think of. We're going through a lot of changes, and we have been, but I think the importance, as we're looking at some different things, and we've even looked at our employee manual and said, gee, does that need to be approved, or do we need to take it here? I think that would help us in a lot of areas. It would help me in a lot of areas to have a sounding board. I think the Finance Committee has been a great help as to how we utilize that. So I'd ask that at a point in time, maybe the next meeting, if somebody's willing to step forward, that maybe would appoint a couple of the commissioners on that, and then I would grab a couple of the department heads also so we can start to formulate that. I'm not asking for a big time commitment, but maybe a once-a-month meeting just to put us down on the path. So I would appreciate that. And then I think the other probably business we may need to speak about is the December meeting schedule. Our second meeting will fall Christmas, and I don't think everybody probably wants to come here that night and do that. So throwing out a couple dates to look at. It's really kind of a tougher time when we would do that second one because the Friday meeting, or if we need to do it in the morning, so we're kind of open to anything that you guys would be willing to, and Sheila and I can send some more information out to you.
Don't look at, I'm all about the morning meeting now, but it's gonna have to be before 7.
Yeah, it'd be very
I have to
early.
be in my building by 7.
It'd be very early.
So 5 o'clock meeting works good for you?
Well, it's the only way I'm
Not for
gonna
me.
for the morning.
Not for me.
That's
I mean, I
else
know I
said
was
it.
the lone dissenter against the morning meetings, but life has changed.
Nice to see you come around.
Yes, yes.
So
starting.
No, and I just, the only reason I had thrown out that Friday, Monday is it's the only ones that really fit within the time frame. We can't have one back to back, a Tuesday meeting and a Wednesday, so we'll have to get
I
into
say
that next
Monday,
week at
December
some
30th.
point from there.
Because a lot of
Monday,
people,
December 30th?
29th, what is it, 29th?
Monday would be the,
No, it'll be it's Monday, because Thursday is.
yeah, just Tuesday, so it'll be the,
Monday would be 30th.
that's another one
We miss it for a while.
to look at.
Tuesday's Christmas.
Tuesday.
Would you need it before then, you need to do your year-end wrap-up?
Matt, can you send like an
Yeah.
email?
Yeah.
I can do what's that called?
Survey or something?
That
Having
Or
our
scribble thing or whatever that you
meeting
do,
on
yeah.
the 30th.
I'm not coming out of Friday.
Right, and oh, we will.
Year-end,
It's not happening.
checks posted, and,
I can come Friday morning.
I can try. Because, well, we're not gonna be working the 31st,
Right.
so.
I'll send out, we'll
Yeah.
do some talking, then I'll send out a calendar, Google, whatever that thing's called. Where you
Calendar
can,
invite?
yeah, an invite, we'll look at and see what people make, I'll give a few options for that, but, okay, so we can do that.
Okay,
All right, that's all for me.
okay, very good. Well, again, congratulations on the appointment, appreciate that.
very much.
Welcome to the Scouts, great to see you here. Hopefully you're all getting badges for this or something. I'm a little disappointed not seeing popcorn out there. I didn't expect to see popcorn when I said Boy Scouts.
We already delivered that.
But mine's gone, I think. You may need to have seconds on that, so. I'd also like to, in addition to everything Matt said, the census is vitally important. Getting an accurate count ensures that we can do some of the things we need to do as far as fixing our pipes, funding everything we do here, providing the services we do. And in addition to that, I want to mention our gratitude to Elma College for the last seminar they put on about the water quality in Michigan, in particular, the water quality right here in our own Pine River. They were brought together, there had to be 100 people from across the country, actually, for an event up at the Opera House. And had some very good conversation. I moved it forward a little bit. It's a long-term project, getting the Pine River cleaned up. We all know it's a mess right now, but hopefully before you guys get these seats up here, we can get the river clean so that we're leaving you an asset that you can enjoy with your families as you grow up. So, we've made a mess of it so far, but there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes, and we're very grateful for Elma College's contribution to everything they're doing to push that forward for us. So I definitely want to acknowledge that. So with that, I'll open it up to the public. If you'd like to address the commission, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and share your thoughts. So who would like to be first? Lori.
My name is Lori Wilson, 517 Michigan Avenue, Apartment B. I want to commend the fire department for a well job done. I believe between Saturday morning and Sunday morning for a St. Louis fire, and pray that the people that own this house was all right. They did a well job done with Elma and St. Louis, and just give out praises for the family that could rebuild. And I need some prayer because the 22nd of this month would be my Uncle Chuck's anniversary. He's been gone six years, and he's been on the fire department for 25 years for St. Louis. And I'm proud of my uncle. And for me, I've been doing good. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting the fire department for that day, and give prayer for our family for my Uncle Chuck being gone for 6 years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And just for the benefit of all of our scouts here tonight, if I could add a comment, the fire department really took the lead a number of years ago as far as working together, cooperation between cities. Fire department has led that effort for decades, I believe. I don't know how far back it goes, but I think largely out of necessity, but regardless of the reason behind it, fire departments have cooperated together for decades, like I said. And we're trying to follow suit in many departments within the city, our government, our street departments, our water department is a great joint venture we've got going. So just a wonderful example of, or a couple wonderful examples for the Scouts about what can be accomplished if people work together. So I'm sure you guys work together for your badges, your projects and whatnot, so keep up the good work on that one. So you can build even better than what we're doing. All right, who would like to be next? Anything from our Scouts? Sure, please go to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Alessandra Snook. I live on 115 South State Street. And I just have one question concerning the citizen count you mentioned earlier. And that is whether or not you will be including minors.
I believe it does count.
Yeah, it does.
All members of the family.
All members.
I think they count dogs and cats and everything in this. This is
This is
the 10-year
like
census. They do
a complete-
very extensive.
Yeah, it'll be part of the questionnaire that will be online, and I think what I posted today on our Facebook page, which should be of interest to folks, because there's probably a misnomer about what the census is. There's 9 questions. That's it. And so, and you can get a look at them ahead of time, so you're not even wondering if you're answering what those questions are going to be. And so everybody will get a really good look at them. But it doesn't, it has everyone in the household right down through there.
Thank you.
Now, I haven't read much about this year's census, but in the past, didn't they, I mean, a lot of people did the 9 questions, and then a few people did some very extensive census.
Yeah.
Are they not doing that this time, do you know?
The outreach program, at least the part of the outreach is, and that really is a point of emphasis. Here's the 9 questions, so that nobody, because there's a lot of, what's it being used for, if you read the 9 questions, there's really nothing but, it's very, very, very data driven. There's no depth to it. And we can't say enough about what's attached to those numbers. What's attached to those numbers is funding for our schools, for everything that we try to do, all of that's there. And so it is important to count everybody that we can. And so we're putting, through this committee, we are putting some things in place with the college, with the different apartments, and with Masonic and Arbor Grove and all of the homes to make sure that we're really getting a complete count and making sure we're okay.
Well, it has to do too with how many representatives we have in
Exactly.
Congress as
Yeah.
well. The state of Michigan
Yes.
stands to lose representatives if we don't get an accurate count. So we have a bigger voice in Washington if everybody's counted. It is really important.
This was something that you guys can help us and everybody else with too, is just letting people know that when it comes time for the census, to participate in it. The United States does a census every 10 years, and that's how legislative districts are determined, so how many people are in the city of Alma and in Pine River Township and all that kind of thing. I think the number that's in the is $1,800 a person. So if you don't participate in the census, that's $1,800 that the city of Alma loses, okay? Plus, like I said, congressional districts, a lot is based on that 10-year census, and this is the one coming up. You can help us.
Because it really comes down to books in the library, computers.
Yep, everything.
Miles of roads we can fix, potholes we can fill, the whole 9 yards. It's all very important, so. Anybody else care to address the commission? All right, hearing none, with that, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Support.
Motion support, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion is carried.